What is up guys, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. So today we are once again playing on the Conquest of Azeroth Alpha, and we are going to be trying out another class. Now I actually have a giveaway as well for Conquest of Azeroth, as the developers of Project Ascension has been kind enough to give me one copy of Conquest of Azeroth on the Alpha, so access to the Alpha. I'll be giving away one of those to you guys. To join this giveaway, all you have to do is let me know which of these classes would be the first one you would want to try out on the Alpha itself, and also the access itself is an in-game item, so in the same comment let me know the name of your in-game character on the server Alar, which is the seasonal server for Project Ascension. So once again, to join the giveaway, let me know which class you would want to try out first on the Alpha itself. The classes' names are all the way down here, just check them out, and let me know if one class sounds interesting to you. And in the same comment, let me know your in-game name on the server called Alar. Now, I'll also be giving away one more in another video, if we can hit a like goal of 250 on this video. So if you want to have another chance at getting into the Alpha, make sure you slap that like button on the video, because if we do get to 250 likes in the next week, I'll be giving away one more copy that I'll be buying myself and giving out to you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the class for today's video, which is the Witch Hunter. So Witch Hunter is a class that I've actually been really into. This is a class that I was thinking about way before Conquest of Azeroth as well. It's pretty much been a class fantasy of mine to be a hunter with 2 crossbows or 2 ranged weapons, and that is what Witch Hunters are. Witch Hunters wield dual crossbows, they use leather armor, they are highly mobile, they're trained in dark magic, they use rage and mana as resources. Witch Hunters are stoic and dignified monster hunters, and wield dual crossbows in battle, as well as dark magics, which comes at a price. Preferring to stay alone, Witch Hunters possess the set of skills that allows them to deal with foes without the help of a group very efficiently, through their unmatched mobility and control. Witch Hunters build up rage with their crossbow shots, which can be used to fuel their more insidious dark magics. So this class sounds really fun, sounds like a pretty much an improved hunter without a pet. I assume it's without a pet because I can't see any pets right here. And it sounds like a marksmanship hunter mixed with a survival hunter, but based on being ranged. So you're using double crossbows. I imagine you have fairly fast attack power, or attack speed I mean. So let's just create the character, get into some level 1 gameplay, and let's check out which abilities you start with at level 1. Okay, so as you start out your character, you pretty much have 4 main abilities. You have Coiling Shot, which is an instant shot that deals normalized weapon damage and generates 10 rage. Also increases your dodge chance by 10% for 2 seconds, so that is indeed good for soloing things. More dodge chance, less damage taken, just a good thing overall. Next ability is Weapon Swap, so you can switch between your dual crossbows and your blazing blade. With crossbows equipped, you deal additional damage and gain access to bolt slinger abilities, but you are restricted from all melee attacks. While Blazing Blade is equipped, you gain access to Inquisitor abilities. Okay, so if I just use this one right now, whenever I use that, I pretty much get a Blazing Blade indeed, so I'm pretty much using a one-hander right now. Also, they switch weapon types, or they're still daggers, but they switch their actual display, and they go back to crossbows whenever you do it again. So you can pretty much switch between melee and ranged, and different abilities become available whenever you go to melee. So you have the next ability, which is Saber Slash, which slashes an enemy for normalized weapon damage and generates 20 range. This one is only usable whenever you have your melee abilities or your melee swords equipped. You also get different types of debuffs right here, so Blazing Blade allows the use of abilities from the Inquisitor School, and Purity. Your melee attacks add 1 stack of Sensed Evil to the enemy. Wickedness, your melee auto attacks consume 1 stack of Sensed Evil to deal additional fire damage. That's actually fairly interesting. Now what's this one? Dual Crossbows, you cannot deal damage in melee. Your range attack power is increased by 25% of your agility, and it also allows the use of abilities from the Bolt Slinger School. So you get different types of debuffs and buffs based on which stance you're in. So this is pretty much a warrior stance, but for hunters. And the last ability, Slayer's Mark. You mark an enemy, causing you to fire a crossbow bolt at them for 7 to 10 physical damage every 3 seconds for 1 minute, and you will only fire bolts while facing your target and at least 5 yards away from them. While marked, your critical strike chance with physical attacks against the target is increased by 10%. So it's pretty much a hunter's mark, but it also deals damage over time and also increases your critical strike. So let's just move this one so I can see the enemy health bar. The armor you start out with is fairly cool though. You look so cool with this armor. It's a witching hat, you have a witching armor, so you're pretty much using a witch armor and some very tiny crossbows. So for damage, let's just see how good they are for damage. Yeah, you deal a lot of damage, but so far all of the classes I have been playing on the alpha are dealing a lot of damage, so it seems like they are all overpowered. But the question is, if all of them are overpowered, is really any of them overpowered? If you know what I mean? Like, they're really fun to play, you deal so much damage, and I think one of the core things about a MMORPG is that your class should feel fun to play, and all of the classes so far on this alpha has felt very fun to play. Now I'm only using one main ability, and I do lose all of my mana fairly quickly. I'm going to level up though, so it's not a problem right now, but I do imagine in the long run it would be a problem. I do almost have full rage all the time though, because this ability right here uses mana, and it generates rage. So spamming this one, you will deal a lot of damage, but you would also go out of mana really quickly, which could indeed be a problem. So we're at level 2 right now, didn't get any new abilities so far, so let's just skip ahead in the leveling process, and let's take a look at some abilities you get later down the line. Okay guys, so we are now level 11, I made a new character as well instead of continuing the old one, so a brand new one. And we are at level 11, we have access to a couple new spells, so for example Fury Shot all the way down here at my second ability, deals 150% weapon damage to the target, and regenerates 10% of your mana, but has a 3-second cooldown. So that one will give you, or regenerate mana over time, or not even over time, just every 3 seconds, you will get 10% of your mana back, meaning you can spam this one, the main ability, Coiling Shot, but also use the other one to regenerate mana, and that one costs you rage. Now you also got one more melee ability, which is this one right here called Dawn Blade. Deals 250% weapon damage to an enemy and regenerates 8% of your mana. It also grants you purity. Now this one has a 7-second cooldown, so it's a lot bigger cooldown, deals a lot more damage though, and only generates 8% mana. We also have this ability up here called Punishing Bolt, which fires a crossbow bolt at an enemy target, dealing 200% weapon damage and generating 15 rage. And also your next Saber Slash within 6 seconds of this ability will always critical strike. And also can only be used within 2 seconds of Coiling Shot. So this one kind of generates a what is it called? It generates a specific type of gameplay where you would first use a Coiling Shot, then use this one, then switch stances, and then use this one, because then you would always get a critical strike. So it generates weapon dancing, and types of, you can use different abilities, get different spells. It generates a type of gameplay that feels very fun, and you will always critical strike on your melee ability, so you would weave between melee and ranged all the time, which is fairly interesting. Now even at this level right here, I'm still dealing a lot of damage, I feel, with my weapons. Now for my melee attacks, I still use my level 1 weapons, which are not really the best ones, but they are the only crossbows in the game right now. But I could just switch them out with daggers, but for my class fantasy, I'm just going to stick with these ones, because that way I have tiny crossbows on me all the time. But these are in fact daggers. Even though they are stated to be crossbows, you can right now on the alpha switch them out with any melee weapons, and they still function the same, but I'm just going to keep them like this for now, because I mainly use my bow anyway for damage, so you still kill things fairly fast. there is one more ability I haven't showed you guys yet, which I do want to show you, which is basically a mobility ability that you can use both out of combat and in combat, and that is this one. It's pretty much a charge. It's called the Vault. Surge forward up to 25 yards, regenerating 15% of your mana. So this is also a huge mana regen ability, and also gives you mobility, as it's pretty much a blink on a 2.5 second cooldown. So you can use this one to get away from enemies. You can use them to go towards your quest giver or something after you've completed a quest. It's basically just a blink you can use all the time with only a 2.5 second cooldown. It is absolutely amazing. Aside from that though, you also have many abilities coming in the later levels that you will learn as this class. So for example, you have Swoop, which you take on the form of a crow, increasing your movement speed by 220% for 5 seconds, and the bonus quickly decays over the duration of the effect. So this one is an ability you will learn later down the line. You have Draining Bolt, which fires a crossbow bolt at an enemy target, dealing 12 to 16 shadow damage, and generating 10 range, instantly healing you for 8% of your maximum health, and leeching 7 to 8 health every 1 second for 10 seconds. You have a lot of things that will either increase your movement speed or decrease the enemy movement speed, like this one right here. Fires a crossbow bolt at an enemy target, dealing 25% weapon damage, generating 10 range, and reducing the target's movement speed by 25% for 6 seconds. So you always have some sort of ability that will either increase your movement speed or decrease the enemy's movement speed. You will be able to heal yourself, you will regenerate mana, you can regenerate rage, and you can pretty much do everything. It is a highly mobile class, it is meant for solo play, and it's doing incredibly well at solo play as well. There is one thing that I want to show you guys, which is the Darkness ability. I haven't really gotten any spells from Darkness except for Coiling Shot, which is also in the other one as well, but also Vault. But in Darkness you have pretty much dark spells. It kind of speaks for itself, but it's dark spells. You have Steel Pain, which can heal an ally for 95 to 109 by siphoning the life force from a random nearby enemy, dealing damage to them as well. So this one can be a heal. It has a 15-second cooldown, it deals damage to enemies, and you can heal a friend. You have many different types of dark abilities right here, like Torment, which costs you 5 range, inflicts pain on the target, dealing damage over time. A lot of different spells. It's pretty much a dark hunter, a solo hunter, highly mobile class, excellent at solo play, and it feels very fun to play. It really fulfills that witch hunter fantasy that I've had for a while, where you can use double crossbows. You are a witch hunter, so you need some sort of witch abilities. You need to incorporate magic into your hunter build as well, which this one does perfectly through that darkness. You don't get darkness just yet. I'm only level 11. That's probably going to be at around level 20. Requires 4 ability essence spent. So that's going to be around level 16, 18 actually in the real game. So yeah, you get some darkness abilities. It's really fun to play. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this small video showing you the Witch Hunter gameplay. And once again, to join the Conquest of Azeroth Alpha giveaway, make sure you let me know which class you would try out first on the alpha itself, and also in the comment, make sure you leave your character's in-game name so I can send the item to you. There will be one winner, and once again, if we do get 250 likes on this video in the next week, I will also be buying one more book to give away to you guys with my own gold on the server itself, because you can buy the alpha access for gold, and right now I have exactly the amount of gold to buy one more alpha access. So if we do hit that like goal, I'll buy one more and give away one more. I will also be sending out the other one in the next video, so you can see video proof of who gets it. So that is pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a like down below, leave a subscription as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.